high level. Two really, really good basketball teams. Wouldn't be shocked at all if you don't see that one in late March. They're good. They're really good. Matherin's what they look like, folks. That's when you want to see a pro, that's what they look like. So all you wonderful evaluators out there of talent, that's what they look like, okay? It's a bad son of a gun. And really good player. I thought Kier was, excuse me, Chris, whatever you pronounce it, was instrumental in the second half. A couple things that were really disturbing. Our ball toughness was not good. And again, it leads to 5, 7, 9-0 runs for just taking our ball. Part of that, guys, is on me. We've got to practice. And November, December have always been grind it out, fight, compete, work, get tough. We haven't practiced, guys. And that sounds like an excuse. We haven't. We're running dummy offense, and we're not grinding these guys, and we're not getting ball tough. Give Arizona all the credit in the world because they took advantage of that. But we got to learn to run offense better. And we've got a week. We got to work around finals, but we've got a week where we've got to improve some things on that end of the court. Getting outscored 42-16 in the paint when you've got Kofi, that's problematic. The other thing, I think with our 4s and 5s tonight, I think we were 6 for 25, I was told, in the 2. Now there's a reason they've got the #1 2-point field goal percentage defense in the country. Not many nights you see Kofi go 5 of 15. So give them credit. They made stops, got stops when they had to. We had a chance, and again, we just didn't execute. But there's a lot of things to grow on. You know, I think that our guys understand now what big boy basketball truly is because they're really good. And you know, then we can go back. It's early December. We're still 2-0 in league, and we can figure out what we've got to continue to work on to get better. We're going to be a really good basketball team, but we've got to get better defensively. And our transition defense was horrific. And you had transition, points in the paint, and our ability to not get a stop late. Those are things we got to get dialed in on.
Okay, questions for Coach?
Coach, it looked like Kofi was laboring a little bit there in the second half. Does he have a lower body injury, or was he cramping up, or something like that?
Nothing.
Rob?
He's good.
Okay, good.
You mentioned a week ago that your teams are not very good at the start of the season, and this might be the most useful game that you've had to show people. What are you going to do with the next week?
Yeah, around finals week, we're gonna grind, guys. We're gonna grind. We got to get better, and then we've got to have 5-on-5, smash mouth, tough, consequence basketball, and that's the reality of it. I mean, there's got to be consequences for turning the ball over. There's got to be consequences for not executing, not catching the ball in your spot, and we haven't done that. And I'll quit saying it because it sounds like an excuse, and I'm the last damn excuse maker there is in the world. But they had a lot to do with that, so we got to do that.
Defensively, it seemed like whoever you put Trent on struggled, but whoever Trent wasn't guarding kind of went off. Whether it's Creasa in the second half when Alfonso was on, or even whatever. How do you make that adjustment?
Doesn't bode very well for next season, does it? Jeez. Yeah, he's elite. I've said it many times. He's the best defender in the country, and he gets no credit because he doesn't block shots. He doesn't come up with a ton of steals. Everybody else, he just makes their life a living nightmare. And he did. We can't have him guard 2 guys. Somebody's got to step up to meet that challenge. I've got to help him get there. But to lose. We had 3 possessions. We got kind of control. We're going, and we lose Creasa twice in transition for 3s. And then we lose Ben in one trip in transition for 3. And it's like, Trent can't be everywhere. Other guys gotta step up and start meeting that challenge on that end. And it's amazing, yeah, he scores 29 or whatever he scored tonight to go along with that too. So we gotta get better, we gotta get tough. Remember the other Brad, the other real bad matchup early was with Coleman and you know, he was minus 17 plus minus, and he's been better than that, and he's gotta be better than that, but we'll get him there.
Brett, I was gonna follow up with that. Obviously, Kofi, 5-15 is not gonna happen very often, but what can he learn from that, and what can Coleman learn from a tough matchup like tonight, especially going into league play?
That's what they look like. That's what it's about. I mean, you know, we've gotta do a better job of helping Kofi get it in positions that he can score. He doesn't see a lot of that type of length and athleticism. I mean, I think they went 3 or 4 times in a row where they just blocked it. You know, and we gotta help Kofi. Kofi's had a little bit of a, you know, bone bruise on his knee. We gotta help him get back in better shape. But he's playing a lot of minutes. He's playing physical, and you know, we get Curbelo back. That helps our other bigs with lobs and ball screens. But we don't have him, and we may not have him for a while. So we'll figure. You know, we gotta figure that out, and we'll help Kofi in different ways. But running offense and catching the ball and spots where we can actually do something will help.
How do you describe how Grandison has improved a lot? His three-point shot, his going to the basket, his defense, but improvement, how has he been able to improve as an athlete?
Oh, Fletch. That's all Adam Fletcher. In the weight room, strength, confidence comes from that. Plus, he's a really motivated worker. I mean, he puts a lot of time in. He had the opportunity this summer to gain confidence, playing with the Finnish national team. You know, and it's he's one of the more versatile guys in our league, and his ability to shoot it and put it on the floor have improved greatly, and you know, it spends a lot of time with a lot of coaches in the gym working on that part of his game.
Coach, what did you see with that 5-second call on Alfonso? Were you hoping that Trent would come hit the ball, or how was that supposed to play out?
No, we had to play. It's on me. That's all on me. He didn't know the rule. He didn't know the rule. He was unaware of the rule, and I'm not going to make an excuse. That's on me. That's a situation. He said he never knew that there was a closely guarded rule without the dribbling. That's on me. So I've got to explain that. You know, he's been in a good spot. We're running a play with him, and he's letting everybody get set. And unfortunate incident.
Brad, when you look back at this, the frustration, is it going to be them taking the ball? Is it going to be defense? I mean, is there one thing that's really going to maybe grind at you over the next 24 hours?
Put it in all caps. Softness. Soft. Have you guys ever known my teams to be that? And that I have a hard time with. When people are taking your ball and we're not gritty enough to get a stop against a really good player when we need to, that's something I gotta get right. And I told our team that. And you know, it's a long season, you know, but January 3rd is not that far away, or whenever we play Minnesota at Minnesota, who's beating the hell out of Michigan. So on the road, so it's not that far away. And we gotta be tough enough to win those.
Yeah, Brad, to follow up with the toughness question, what kind of things can you do, or who do you rely on to get that out of this team? I mean,
Practice.
DeMonte.
There's consequences. We gotta practice. It's not one individual, it's not one guy. Trent's tougher than heck. DeMonte's really tough. But you gotta have 5 other guys that are toughness, and you gotta demand, you know, that, you know, okay, we're working on offensive execution, and you gotta catch it in your spot, and we haven't consistently done that enough to be able to execute. We gotta get better at it.
We had 4 guys score a pretty fair number of points, but for that to be it, do you see that as an issue, or?
No, that won't be. We'll be guys right. That's a unique circumstance of the game, but I think it also shows how good those 4 guys are.
You talked earlier about the problems offensively that you're having. How much of that is connected to the fact that you don't have Curbelo, and like how he was obviously going to be a huge part of what you're going to do offensively, and now you're changing your complete offense?
Let's see, some people had him as a first-team All-American. and you take that away from your team. And I think the one thing that and I've said it before, you know, we started to run offense with that in mind, and we started to build our team and put our pieces together around that. And then you have to stop. And Trent's been incredible, but he's been hurt. And, you know, so we played DeMonte there, we played Coleman there, we played mismatch. So everything we've done has been a little bit out of sync. Again, I'm not making an excuse, but he's a really good player. And I think everybody in here would admit that. And when you don't have him, that's a huge loss. Where we miss Andre Curbelo as much on the offensive end, we miss him probably equally as much on the defensive end, because he's an elite defensive rebounder, and he's an elite on-ball defender. And, you know, you lose that player, you're losing, you know, a lot. And the sequence with which we started to put stuff in this summer was based around him. But no excuses, no excuses. We have to be ball tough. But with him, we do some things differently.
You coach a pretty fast-paced game, and you had 3 guys go over at least 33 minutes on the court. Talk about the need to get more out of the bench. What do you got to do to get more from those guys?
Yeah, I mean, not playing Arizona every night would help. You know, those guys, but again, that's, you know, I love Luke Goody, I love RJ. I thought those guys could come in and give us minutes. And with length, I got to keep throwing those guys out there. Brandon Pajimski's had an incredible week of practice, his best week by far. And I got to start trusting those guys. And hopefully another week of practice. You know, and you know, before we get to January 3rd, I think those guys are going to be able to help us, and I feel comfortable with them. And today was a hard one because of the matchups.
I feel like it's been kind of a long first month to the season for you. Is there a level of mental fatigue just trying to wade through the ins and outs and who's here and who's not, and just trying to figure it out game by game?
I'm not soft. I'm not soft. We'll be just fine. I got a few hours sleep last night. We're good. We'll be fine.
To follow up with the offensive question, how difficult is it, or how difficult do you think it's going to be when you're trying to get Curbelo back into the rotation because he's such a high usage player?
We'll worry about that when it happens. I'm not, and I don't mean to be sarcasm. That's not. I just mean that, you know, it's when that happens, we'll start integrating that in. Right now, my focus can't be that, and you know, that's when it comes in practice, and you know, we'll see what he's capable of, when he's capable of doing.
Scott, I know you talked about Austin yesterday, but is he facing a longer absence?
Yeah, Austin's going to be out for the rest of the year. Austin is good as a athletic hernia that will require surgery. So that will put him out somewhere in the 10-week mold, I was told.
Brad, is the message for Coleman simple, or is it just kind of a little bit more complicated than just kind of, you gotta play better?
It's not hard, is it? Play better. I think it's a challenge every night that guarding Keegan Murray was different than guarding 6'11", 240 tonight. And yet he's got to be able to adapt to that. The first play of the game, we told him they were going right at him. We told him they were going right at him. And he just kept giving away until they literally shot a layup. And there's got to be some resistance and some fight. And you know, I don't worry about Coleman on the defensive end. I'm more concerned with him on the offensive end. And just his casualness there that we got to get out of him.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.